Okay, carrying on with my Rogal Dorn. My intention now is to start kind of building the last major segments of this. Now, in order to do that, I'm gonna go for weapons that appear more anti-troop than anti-tank. So, particularly on this one, I just want this to feel like its primary purpose is anti-infantry warfare. Now, in order to do that, obviously, I need to focus on the parts of the kit that provide that look, really. Okay, so I think what we've got is this interesting little, what looks like some kind of Gatling style cannon. I'm sure it's got an official name, but go here. So we're heading over to 132, and then I need to find 133 over here. Where's my 133? No, then I need the 134, which is the front of this weapon. This is just one of the hull mounted weapons, and it does definitely feel feels like more of an anti-infantry than anything. I'm thinking as well about how I can make it feel like a Vansar tank more than just giving it a few Vansar crew. So I've been ticking off in my head some ideas that I think might work. And I think one of the ideas I've hit upon is like heavy duty bars. Because one thing that Vansar tend to have is quite a lot of like cabling coming often. So I'm wondering if putting something similar to that to kind of make it kind of reflect on the actual tank's hull might help. And I was thinking of a practical use as well. If you're an armoured company that's been raised on a hive world, then you're probably going to end up going for, your tactics are going to be, about almost fighting in close quarters. Now, don't get me wrong, tanks are notoriously bad for urban combat. I think they're well renowned for not being the best thing for urban combat. Too many ways of people sneaking up onto them and things like that. That's my general understanding. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on tank warfare, but I do recall it's a well-known issue with tank warfare that if you let yourself get slowed down in a town, then over a heavily urbanized area, there's easy places for troops to hide, charge up on you and things like that. Right, so let's have a look here. This one pops into here, actually. Now, hull weapons. So I need number 51s. Might be on a different sprue, these. Yes, they're over here. So these are where the other fixed point hull weapons go. You know, I do like the Rogal Dorn chassis. I think there's a lot of promise in this chassis. I just hope that they do something more with it in the future. Now, don't get me wrong, I think a tank hunter would look gorgeous on this hull. Just imagine having in this hull, like, top part locked off, and then it just having an anti-tank barrel right along the front. Okay. Now, let's have a quick look here. So, these are like additional lighting, I think. I think this is a choice now between lights and weapons. And it's quite an interesting choice, actually, whether or not you want to have this going on. Or weaponry. It's a tough choice, isn't it, actually, because I'm trying to think what I prefer. Oh, that is a tough choice to decide on whether or not I want lighting or weaponry on the front. Ooh, what to do? Yeah, I think, do you know what? I want to go for extra lighting. I think if you are potentially going to be fighting in hive cities, you're probably going to benefit more from being able to see and illuminate areas. I'm also having a think actually about what's it now? About what I can start decorating the front with. So I'm thinking of looking at some kind of like, again, to make it look a little bit more Van Sart, I'm going to add copper to the front and turn it into like what's it called? Defensive, you know, like bull bars, to basically as a way to knock things out the way. Okay, now if you do want the weapons, the guns on the front, what you do is you get these 43s and then they go in place, and then you have to pick your weapons, and your weapons are over here. So, you know, you do have quite a lot of options, which I like. So what's going to go next along here? I think the next thing that I've got to go for is number 44, which is these 44 and 45, which is these hooks that I want on the front. I want it to feel very, you know, I think when you're putting something like this together, you can almost give yourself a story about the design you're making up. So you might decide that, you know, you want it a bit more stripped down, so that it's a lighter version, less weight to it, or you might want a heavier version. And I think that's just about personal preference, to be quite honest. Now, as I said, I feel like this thing is going to be fighting in urban areas, potentially having to get through tight squeezes. And part of me feels that even things like side sponsons could be considered to be a negative, because it's going to impact upon its fitting through tight areas, tight gaps. I just like to think about these things when I'm doing stuff. Okay. So, I'm going to put the tank hooks on the front. these little hooks. Now, how do I want them? Let me just have a careful look here. So they need to be quite downwards like this. Oh, I've got some chain as well that's going to fit this really well. Okay, and then on the back, I'm going to go for the little loops, wherever they are. There's like a couple of little hooks that can go on the back. 71 they're down as. Let's see where they are. Oh, there they are. Same sprue as the rest. I think I'll be looking in my kill team box as well a bit later on to see if there's anything that will look good if added to this. Too much glue on both of them. There we go. Oh gosh, leaks. Don't go. I don't like leaks on my desk. I know I've got it wrapped in plastic so that it stays good. I put this plastic down over my desk to really keep it, make it last longer so it doesn't end up chipped and scratched and covered in paint and glue. Okay, what else do we want to do here to add a bit of carrot to this? So we have things like the barrels that can pop on the back. Now, this is one of the questions I've got to ask myself. Do I want these on? So, on one side, I don't want to permanently attach them until I've painted this stuff here. On the other side, I do really like these things. These number 1, 3s and 19s. So, there is absolutely no doubt about it that I like these things. They tie it to the Bane blade very well. So I think they're definitely something that I will probably include. Again, I think the tank looks just as good. Looking at the, like versions other people have done, it looks just as good without them. I mean, there's no kind of like one is better than the other. It looks good either way. And I think my main decision about whether or not I'm going to include these is whether or not they suit. Now, I think if you're talking about an armoured company that is going to have to go into a urban area, it's going to need additional defences. So, no doubt these are definitely going to go on. But, again, like I've noticed with my track guards, I do have a slight problem. And that's, I'm not going to be able to actually glue them on or at least because of the way that I want to paint this, I'm not really going to be able to secure this straight away, because I want the track guards and everything as well, I think. Now, you should be able to work out which way these go on and how they attach based upon the shape of the hooks on either end. Yeah, it's definitely nice, but there's no way I'm attaching those until I've painted everything inside there. I just don't feel that it's going to look as good if I do that. Okay, but that's how they actually attach, and that you'll put those on both sides. Now, I have no doubt that if I try to... Oh, there we go. It will kind of hold for now anyway. Yeah, just to make your, so you can see how it looks. It does look really good. I like it. It's just a useful little addition, and it adds a slight feeling that it's related to the Bane blade. I still think though that they need to make a plastic version of the Malcador and the Macarius and the Malcador, because they're just so lovely Forge World tanks and they look great. Okay, so that's how we would then put our side skirts on. As I said, I would just feel uncertain about, gluing these things on, because you just look how much trouble that's going to make painting underneath there. But, just so I can show you how it all slots together. They're nice and easy, they just kind of naturally hook where they're supposed to. Could do a beautiful diorama actually with these things, like have someone maintaining it. Quite a nice diorama that actually, if someone made the effort of having one of these, like, I suppose one could say in homage to the Talan desert tank that someone did years ago. I can't remember who it was. He was one of the pro painters at the time. Talking a long time. It's just going to keep falling off that one. But basically what he did was he created this Talan tank, and it just basically looked, quite frankly, like it was... never mind, I'll leave it for now. Yeah, like it was basically just cooling off after a busy battle or fight or whatever, and it was like, it had like one of the side panels open. So I think that would be quite a nice homage actually to that, if someone did that as a diorama. Okay, I'm gonna stop fighting that one on the other side, but there we go. So there, get them glued on. It's not really a problem. It's very easy to do. Okay, now as I've said, I have every intention of using these. These are really cool, and again, if you're fighting in an urban area, you're gonna want to make sure that you're maintaining, defenses as much as you can, particularly on those tracks. So this one is 77, and the other one is 78. Now these, let me just double check I got this right. Yeah, these will hook over the top of this, and it's great because it gives you added stowage space. Oh, do you know what it reminds me of now? It's like I'll have to get them. I'll look at a Macarius, although it's very different, right? The Macarius looks like a what's it called now? Looks like a kind of World War I style tank or interwar style tank. This looks like a World War II style tank. So, for want of a better word, this feels like it's kind of, I don't know why. I mean, maybe when I look at the Macarius, it won't have that much of a look to it, and maybe I'm just thinking it does, and maybe someone who's more of a fan, like really into the Imperial Guard tanks, will have a good look through it and basically say that I'm completely insane and I don't know what I'm seeing. But it gives me the feeling of the Macarius, just like something about the way that this lies over the top of it makes me feel like it, you know, it could just be a natural successor to that tank. So if you imagine that the Macarius probably started entrance service during the Great Crusade, obviously got specifically renamed to the Macarius. I don't know how old the Macarius is, you say, but may have got specifically renamed for Lord Solar Macarius, but at the time, you know, this. Just going to pop on, now I'm not going to pop all the tracks on, but I just want to kind of have a look how that looks with these tracks. So let me just pop in a couple of these tracks just so I can have a look at this. So that looks really nice. I like that. So when we add it all together, it's a very good look. I like it. Okay, I'm definitely going for those. So what you do with this now is you can see there's hooks there. So these are tank hooks. And what happens with these is you'll find them, I think the number 18s, I think. Let me just double check because there's quite a fair few of them. Yeah, these number 18s, they're quite small. Basically, they're going to pop into here. Tidy that off at the back, otherwise it's going to poke up at a weird angle. Yeah. Basically, if they ever need to remove them for any reason, they loop the chains and things through there and the hooks through there and pull it off. Now I need a couple more of those. Quite a lot of them are on different sprues, just have to kind of look around for them. They look like they're poking out weird. I'm finding that if you turn them around, they seem to stick okay. They seem to go in all right. There we go. It's all done. Now, again, there's loads of extras that you can pop on the top of these, but because I'm someone who does a lot of sub-assembly on tanks and things, you know, I'm not going to go through that process. But what we can do is obviously just get the other one off. Same again, we've got to get our little number 18s, our tank hooks. So let's have a quick look for some. It's all over the place. Where's the other little one gone off to? It's not come off, that's why. Don't want to lose these little things because, well, it's not like they're easy to find if you drop them. Trying to get these in just perfect because they feel like, I don't know, slightly wobbly. I can't really explain it any other way. Okay, it's going dark now. My room's getting dark. I'll turn the light on. Okay, now one more set of tank hooks, number 18s again. Ooh. Now, where are they? Such small little things, probably going to be a little bit of a battle to find. I cannot find them. Where are they? Oh, we're short 2 tank hooks and I don't know where they are. I don't normally lose things when they're still on the sprig. Gosh, they were hard to find. Right, so there we go. That's our track guards. And they basically pop either side. Obviously, you have to glue the tracks on in order to put those on. So because I'm doing things quite modular, I'm obviously not going to secure them down just yet. Okay. So, decisions about the side sponsons. So I am not going to put any side sponsons on this, just purely because I don't want this to have any side armaments, because I'm trying to keep a low profile, and the reason I want a low profile is because it is a the Necromunda 11th, as I'm going to call them, are going to have to, you know, effectively be out in tight areas. Now that's not to say that none of my tanks will ever have some, but I just feel like for this little part, I don't want to have that kind of approach. Now there's loads of other extras that you can put on this, so you can literally just add so many different things to it. There's like little ropes and pulleys and tools and everything else you can imagine that can get added to this. And there's these side sponsons, but I'll do them in a separate video because I'm choosing not to add them. So that'll be kind of like a special video that I do some other day about how to put them together. Okay, but overall, other than, you know, obviously having to add some tracks, you know, which I'm going to do through painting up, after I've painted up the tracks. This is coming along now, and I'm really happy with the way this looks. I think it's a lovely model, to be quite honest. You know, I think if I just have a quick check, make sure that I've got these on the right way. But there we go. It's got a good feeling about it. It looks the part. And then, of course, if you add the turret onto the top of it, you know, it really shows, you know, the... Ooh. Not too much. Let's try and X this on somewhere. Oh, pretty certain. There we go. Right. So that's it. I mean, this is as far as I'm probably going to go with this build. I feel like I've took it to where I want it to be for painting, and if you do kind of want to go for, you know, the side sponsons, I will do a separate video on how to do those later on, just so it's complete. But I don't want to actually glue certain parts down, just purely because it's going to make painting an absolute pain. But there we go. I mean, that is the Rogal Dorn. I think it's a very charming tank, to be quite honest. I think it's got a real good look to it. I think it's quite interesting to look at, if problem with not gluing things on. But I think overall, I really like this kit. I think there's a lot of add-ons to it as well, and I've got a lot more work to do on this over the next few days, which I plan on recording so everyone can see what's going on. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see